In the latest chapter of Fairy Tail, we found out that the title of chapter 520 is going to be Dragon or Demon. So I've said it before and I will say it again. At long fucking last, we get to possibly wrap up Natsu's dream or at least move into its final phase. Which brings me to today's topic, which is my chapter 520 prediction. You guys have no idea how long I've waited to finally get to predict something with at least some certainty that it's going to be a Natsu-centered chapter. So my prediction is kind of inspired by a comment on one of my videos. I believe the username is Princess Trolestia14. Comment included her own prediction and parts of that prediction really looked good to me, so I'm going to be using some parts of that prediction into my own prediction. So we know that Natsu is asleep or in a coma, whatever you want to call it, unable to wake up unless he makes it through his dream without dying more or less. A few chapters back, we found out that his dragon seed is merging with the entity which e.n.d referred to as a demon seed, even though it's not an actual seed. Same can possibly be said about the dragon seed. This is causing Natsu's body to shut down pretty much. In other words, he's currently dying. But he's the main protagonist of the series, so I think it goes without saying that he's not going to die, and if he does die in the series at all, it's not going to be now. So then, dragon or demon? What can it mean? Well, I think within his dream, there's going to be a point within the next chapter, possibly by the end of the next chapter. It's pretty hard to tell, but anyway. So there's going to be a choice. Natsu will have to choose between two paths. Imagine Natsu standing before a path that suddenly splits into two, and he can only choose one, and depending on which path he chooses, the outcome is going to be very different. The choices in question here are what the title is referring to. Option 1. Natsu can allow the demon seed to completely take over, causing it to completely swallow the dragon seed within Natsu instead of merging with it. This in turn will revive Natsu's physical body again, but his dragon slayer capabilities will be gone for the rest of his life. But that's not all. He'll turn into the monstrosity which Grey promised his father he would destroy no matter what. Except this time e.n.d will awake with his full power, not just some mid-stage with that fraction of e.n.d's real power. This would grant Natsu the absolute power that he needs in order to destroy Alvarez as well as his maker, Zeref. Of course, by killing Zeref, Natsu too will die. So the option of choosing the demon seed will most likely result in Natsu giving up his freedom as well as his life in the long run, as then his end goal will be to kill Zeref. We of course know this to be true and not just a rumor, seeing as Natsu was drawn towards Zeref when his mid-stage triggered back when he one-shot Dimaria and encountered Grey. So if e.n.d's full power is triggered, his urge to kill his maker will be even greater than before, to the point where he cares very little about who ends up getting hurt in the process. At least that's a theory. So that is if he were to take the route of the demon seed. So what's the second option then? Well, if it isn't self-explanatory, he's going to be able to choose to take the path of the dragon seed, but in this case things are going to be a little different. What I mean by that is of course the fact that it won't really work like in the case of the demon seed. The dragon seed wouldn't really be able to swallow the demon seed, seeing as the demon seed at this point in time is the source of Natsu's life. Without it, he'd just die. So the demon seed can't really be taken out entirely, but I believe that Natsu is going to force the dragon seed to push the demon seed back, much like in the case of what Branches did with his demon seed the first time around, except it's going to be fueled by his own willpower. Natsu could end up pursuing this path because of e.n.d's legacy. At the end of the day, it could potentially be a choice between power and his humanity. So I believe those are the paths that Natsu could be facing. I think that Natsu would at the end of the day choose to keep his humanity and remain a dragon slayer. There are basically two big reasons for this, but probably plenty of minor ones as well, and the big reasons being that firstly, Natsu would never forsake the power that his father e.n.d granted him. Natsu absolutely despised Zeref, but in no way would he end up dropping his humanity willingly just to kill him. That's not how Natsu does things. The second reason why Natsu will of course end up fighting to live through the path of the Dragon Slayer is that numerous times in the series, I don't really know how many exactly, Natsu has been involved in some drama regarding life and death. Two times that I can't remember at the top of my head are on Galuna Island, where Grey intended to use Iced Shell. Natsu smashed some sense into Grey because it would be considered cowardly to take your own life. I believe Natsu even told him it's like running away from your problems instead of facing them. Could be wrong on that one though. The second time this happened was at the Tower of Heaven, when Ursa went into that lacrima to try and make the Therion Tower not go nuclear, resulting in everyone dying. Natsu pulled Ursa out no matter what the risks were, because Natsu believes that you don't die for your friends, you live for them. These were pretty much Ursa's words, but it was the reason Natsu pulled her out regardless. So yeah, I'd say that if this prediction ends up being the case, then you can expect Natsu to go dragon and not demon. But as we all know, predictions are complicated. Dragon or demon could mean a number of things. This is just one of those things that I believe could go down, and it wouldn't be all that crazy because Natsu has made it out of tight spots before. Like when Zero put him in the void or whatever during the Horacian Sage shit, Natsu broke free from that shit with sheer willpower. This is what could happen in his dream. He'll do what he feels is right and bam, shit's suddenly going Natsu's way again. Well, I'll be wrapping it up here. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments, and if you did, please like this video if you enjoyed and subscribe if you're new to my channel. See ya soon.